Go to 1 Thessalonians and find chapter number 5. Not only we should not grieve him, but look at this command. And it is a command. Chapter 5, 1 Thessalonians, verse number 19. Read it out loud with me. Ready? Quench not the Spirit. Oh, we can not only grieve him, but we can quench him because we've been told not to. I looked up it through the Greek and all the other sources that I could come up with. What does the word quench really mean? Here's what I found out. The word means to put out a fire, and the Holy Spirit is the fire according to the Bible. It means to put out a fire by dousing it with water or smothering it with dirt. This word means, the word quench, to extinguish. That's why you have all over the buildings fire extinguishers. Well, the truth of the matter is a lot of Christians are fire extinguishers. Putting out the fire of the Holy Spirit. Now, it also means to smother. Let me just tell you this, and I'll do this really quickly, but my son can back this, everything I've been preaching here, and I give a personal illustration. He's witnessed them and saw them and knows them and heard them. But here's what happened. Every year, and he still does it after all these years, we have what we call a father-son camp out, where we go up in the mountains and we camp out, and we bring our sons or some young men, young boys who don't have fathers, and we take them out. We have about 3 days, 3 nights camping out. We had done this for years. My last time to go on the father-son camp out just was a number of years ago. The forest ranger became acquainted with us because we had a whole line of cars, trucks, and campers and boats and so forth coming up to where we were going to camp. And I had a whole line behind me, and I was going up this old dirt gravel road, and I turned left to go over to the campground that we always stayed at. And when I looked ahead, I saw a green pickup truck sitting there on the road, and I thought, my goodness, I wonder what's going on there, because it's a fire ranger. It's a forest ranger's truck. And when I pulled up, he stepped out and held up his hand and stopped me. And he said, Pastor Miller, it's good to see you. He said, you're up here for the camp out again. I said, yes, sir. I said, we're looking forward to it. He said, well, here's what I have to do. He said, we have had a terrible year, as you know, of forest fires. So he said, what I'm going to do, he said, I know you build a big forest or a big fire, and you have all your campers come around, gather around the fire, and you have a service around the fire. He said, now I'm going to let you do that again, even though we have the warnings about forest fires. But he said, here's what I want you to do. If you promise to do this, you can have your fire. He said, I want you to have 2 5-gallon buckets of water close by the fire, and I want you to put the fire out after you've had your service. And he said, not only that, but there's 2 or 3 spade shovels there, and I want you to cover them with dirt afterwards as well. So make a long story short, we had a wonderful, great service around that campfire. It was awesome. And after we got done, I dismissed all of them to their camps and their tents and their campers. And I held back some fellas. And I told the guys, I said, no, they told us we had to put out this nice, big, beautiful fire. So here's what I want. I said, a couple of you guys, come over and get those 5-gallon buckets. One of them picked up his 5-gallon bucket. I said, go ahead, pour it on the fire. And he went, and psh, the flame went down. I said, go ahead, take the other one. And the other guy, psh, and that time all the flame went down. But there were still some little sparklers of fire there, just some little glistening. So now I know why the shovels. And I said, fellas, grab yourself a shovel, cover it up. And they put the dirt on it. God is my witness. When they put the dirt, after the fire had been, the flames had gone down, and they put the fire on top, or the dirt on top of where the fire was, you could not tell there had ever been a fire there. There was no smoke, there were no cinders, there was no, it was totally covered with dirt as if nothing had ever happened before. You know what we did? We quenched that fire. We smothered it with what, class? Dirt. You know where a lot of Christians are and what they're doing? They're quenching the Holy Spirit by smothering Him with a lifestyle of dirtiness. What we see on the cell phones, what we see on the computers, what we have access to, that the Holy Spirit is against, and we wonder why we can't be effective in our Christian life, can't get answers to our prayer, can't get people saved, because we have smothered the Holy Spirit with our dirt.